Toby Harmon.
Hi, Toby.
So I was just coming by to see what time y'all worship and
9:30.
stuff. 9:30?
9:30.
Okay. Would you mind if I asked you a question about your views on abortion?
My views of abortion are
Yeah, like
consistent.
the views of the church.
The United Methodist Church, our position is abortion is moral only to save the life of the mother, or in case of rape or incest. On all other, we consider it to be an unacceptable form of birth control.
Okay. So it's like with the rape and incest exception, why would you be, why are you against it, like for every other reason?
Well, the actual wording we use is that abortion in general is a tragic choice of life versus life. And that if the life of the mother is at stake, if her well-being is at stake, her mental state, with the counseling of doctors and pastors, we can work that out. If it is simply somebody doesn't want to have a baby, that's not a moral choice. Now, we're not saying we approve legislation to prevent that, but we don't consider that to be a moral choice because you should have taken.
So what exactly, like in the most clear language you could put it, is immoral about it? Like, say for instance,
taking a life.
Okay, so you're taking a human life.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the woman was raped and she gets pregnant, what does abortion do in that case?
In that case, you have a person who has been violated for no fault of her own.
Sure,
it will
I agree.
Impact her life for years that come. I've done this counseling, and you're often dealing with highly tragic situations where there is no good choice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand that rape is an awful violation of somebody's bodily autonomy. It's a violation of their of who they are. You know what I'm saying?
But that's an extremely
here's
rare
the thing.
situation.
No, it is. You're right. It's like 1% of all abortions.
Right.
But that also takes a human life in that case. And there's actually two victims whenever there's a rape and somebody is impregnated. There's two victims.
There are two victims. That's right.
And so we don't think that you have to encourage or should encourage a woman who's been victimized to become the victimizer of the second victim.
Well, we don't encourage abortion under any.
Well, I'm saying you should totally discourage it, even in the case of rape.
You need to go back to what you're doing.
I've got a hospital call.
Okay.
No, we don't encourage under any circumstance. Here is, and I don't know where you are with abortion or if you've been an activist in any way or shape or form.
Well, yeah, I'm actually an activist right now, and we actually think that the churches in America have failed to be Christian.
So when you said you were here to find out what time our services was, that was a lie.
No, I actually am here.
This is what you were wanting.
No, I honestly am here to find out what time your services are at. So.
They're at 9:30. Okay, you're done.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask you one more question about, you said you wouldn't be for legislation against it, right?
Because no legislation would be constitutional. Right. It's a settled issue in terms of the Supreme Court. There is no legislation. Oklahoma's attempts at
why would it be unconstitutional?
Well, all of Oklahoma's attempts have been declared unconstitutional.
Well,
the one that's
declared by the Oklahoma State Supreme Court.
No, by the U.S. Supreme Court. It's a federal law.
No, I understand that, but the Oklahoma State Constitution, like they struck down the personhood amendment.
Right.
They decided it was unconstitutional.
Right. Yeah.
But actually, they're not supposed to legislate in that way. Well, I'll let you go. I appreciate you talking to me, but
it's an interesting conversation. But believe me, when you're dealing with a person who's facing the potential loss of life, it's not a political conversation.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not a political conversation at all. It's actually it's a conversation of human rights, which is why we're so against it.
If you were a female having this conversation with me, I would go about it a different way. You're a male.
Yeah. Well, would you take a time, check out our website, and there's a video on there. Her name is Anna Ritchie. She spoke at our conference. She was molested by her dad at 12 years old. Yeah. She had the baby, and she gives a long testimony, but that baby was her greatest source of healing next to Jesus Christ.
And that's great. And should you be able to make that decision for every other woman in the United States?
Well,
just a second, should you have final word for that on every woman in the United States?
we should have final word that it's never okay to kill another human being that's innocent. You agree with that?
No. A Christian viewpoint is you don't have the right to kill another human being, whether they are guilty or innocent.
No, actually, that's untrue.
We are
Genesis
all
9:6, what does it say?
We are all sinners. There is no greater sin or lesser sin.
That's untrue.
Jesus is clear.
Jesus said that those in
Theologically,
Capernaum,
brother, we are worlds apart.
No, I understand.
Goodbye.
All right,
Go.
thanks, sir. I appreciate your time. Is this locked? You just push hard. Thank you.